All right. Well, I think we made it, folks. Yes, here we are. Welcome. My name is Todd Rains. Welcome to the shop. It is a chilly, I think 30 degrees outside here in Allen, Texas. So got a couple of space heaters going. It is a bit cold, but and touching all this metal and the tools and sharpening and stuff got my hands a little cold. Hope you're all doing well. Hope the weather's maybe okay where you are and stuff like that. So let's just see. We've got quite a few people joined up today. I didn't do the usual. Robert Cold in Cape Cod, and David is up in the Pacific Northwest. Nice cool day. Nice. Michael McKeown up in Victoria, Canada. Missouri. Roger, welcome. Let's see, Virginia Beach, 10 degrees, still shoveling snow. Cindy's here, of course. Good to have you here, Cindy. Thank you. Let's see, Bob from the New Jersey Woodturners. Good of you to join. Chuck, local guy, just over in Arlington, I think, somewhere over there. Jim, good to have you here. Cold. Makes me think I'm in Chicago. We had some horrible wind yesterday. North wind. It was like 12 degrees outside and blowing. Felt like almost a 0 Fahrenheit, which is bloody cold, at least for Texas. We set records low, by the way, this week for where I live. So we got Carl from Shiloh, Illinois. Nice and chilly. Andy Phillips, haven't seen you in a while. Finally back in the shop after, hopefully good to be with you again as well. So good luck on the whole rehab and relearning to turn. I was out for the whole month of January and most of December. December because of holidays, January because of illness. And yeah, I had to relearn a few things out here. Paul from overseas, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. I'm going to skip down a little bit. We'll get through some of these. Jerry from Virginia, a lot of Virginia folks. It's nice. Winona, Minnesota. Nice. Just skipping over. Our friend Worth Holmes out in Terrell, or close there anyway. So Patty, good to have you here from New Jersey. So yeah, lots of folks all over the place. Mark, my neighbor, actually over in Arlington. Good to have you here, Mark. Aaron is 23 degrees. Lowell is down south in either Victoria or Alamo. I'm not quite sure. Somewhere down there. I always forget Lowell. I don't know why. It's a name that just doesn't stick in my head. Mike O.B., good to have you here. Thanks for joining. We'll have to get on the phone here again shortly. Karen, KK from Behursville, New York. Nice name. Reminds me of Horton Hears a Who. I don't know why. Just popped in my head. Let's see. Boy, lots of people. Gerald is here. Good to have you. Green Bay 21. We were about the same this morning, believe it or not. Yeah, definitely chilly all over the place. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And let's hope we all kind of warm up. So it's funny weather here in Texas. A week and a bit ago, we're like hit a high 80, dropped into this cold for a few days. I think Tuesday, it's supposed to be 71. You know, Why couldn't the 71 be tomorrow and today and tomorrow when I'm doing my demo and live stream and stuff? I don't know. Just the way it's got to be. So anyway, what are we doing today? I didn't really have a great description in my post about this, but we've got a chunk of wood. I need to prepare for tomorrow. I may not use it tomorrow, but it's nice to have it prepared. It's a big chunk of, this is some silver maple. This is actually from the bowl blanks I salvaged. I had 2 big bowl blanks, 20 some odd inches thereabouts, 19, 20 inches. And I'd never got to use them. I prepped them for SWAT and forgot to do that. The whole story there. I think in the December live stream, I took those 2 and salvaged and made 4 bowl blanks out of them. The other ones over there, the other one's already used, and the other 2 are already used. So there we go. We're going to true this up for a little bit of turning and prep it for tomorrow. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a little bit about the demo tomorrow. But before we get there, let's look at what else is coming. First of all, how we keep in touch. Please do. Email, phone numbers, all there on the website, right there for you. The QR code over there is to sign up for the newsletter. If you're not a subscriber, it'd be good to have you as one. Thank you for those of you who are. And then let's see what's next. Well, we've got Cindy Drose's live stream, and we have Cindy here with us. So, Cindy, good to have you here. Say hi to everybody. And
hi, everyone.
We do live streams kind of every other week, opposite of each other. Mine are 2:30 on Friday. So today is my turn. Next Friday is Cindy's turn. And she does hers at 1 p.m. on Friday. So there's her sign up. I don't have a QR code for you yet. I need to work on that. I found this new, well, not new, but simple trick within Affinity Designer, which I use for most of my graphics, Affinity Photo. I can generate the QR code so easily inside that tool. So I don't have to create one, bring it in, and size it and all that stuff. So anyway, that's where that did. So Cindy, you got any ideas what you're doing next Friday?
Yes, I do. Surprisingly enough, next Friday, what I'm going to do is I've been working on this hollow sphere, and last time I made a lid for it. And next I'm going to work on trying to decide on a texture that'll look good on that lid. Thing is, though, it's not next Friday, is it? I believe next Friday is the 28th, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's going to be actually, it's 3 weeks from today.
Yep, that's right. Well, let me transition to that now. Let me get small again.
Okay.
That's fine. We'll come back to that one. Sharing session is, next week, Friday at, when I got that banner here somewhere. This one, 28th, and it's going to be 1 o'clock, Cindy's time. So join us for that. We have a lot of fun working with and talking with and answering questions and learning from the whole woodturning community. So it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So so you're going to continue on with your tripod sphere teapot?
Oh, yes, it is a tripod too. Texture is fun, and there are so many options. So I'm gonna experiment with a few things. It'll be fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let me transition back here. Tomorrow, so we got a lot of events coming, and I should have put these in. They kind of are in order, but we kind of went sideways. Tomorrow is my PRD, or personal remote demo. You can buy a ticket for it. The QR code there is a place to buy a ticket. It is going to be what I call ring segmented sculptures. The guy in the photo there is Critter Dom. I made him 2017, 8 years ago, right? Yes. And I have made other ones like this. I don't have any other ones. They all went to other people's homes. But I've got his soon to be partner over there, and I'm making something else, something not really critter like, but could be in that environment. So it's gonna be exciting. I've been working on it in the. It's too cold to do some of the stuff out here in the shop, so I've been working in the office on some of that. So this is a closer look at him, and those legs on him are integral to the turning. So they're not glued on afterwards.
Wow.
The head is separate and the tail is separate, but everything in between is all ring segmented. So we'll look at that and do some of that tomorrow. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you all there. So hopefully you can do that. Purchase a ticket with the QR code, or just go to the website. You'll see it right on the front page, and should be a lot of fun.
Where is it? Okay.
What are you looking for? I'll turn my phone off here. Sorry, I just had got phone ringing in my ear, so turn that off. All right. So tomorrow, the demo. Next Friday, the sharing session, and then I'll be on the Friday after that, and then Cindy. So we look forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. Thank you, Cindy. Anything else you want to announce, or you got another demo coming up? You know yet?
I will, but I haven't decided yet. It'll be either March 15th or April 12th. And if anyone's got ideas, I'm open for suggestions. But I'm going to post a link to your demo tomorrow, and that is going to be fun. I can't wait to see this very creative and interesting and new stuff.
There's a lot going on. So there's turning, there's carving, and then there's coloring.
Wow.
I was going to maybe throw in some pyrography, but that's just too much. So, and although it might have warmed me up if I had had that going. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you, Cindy. And stick around. We'll do a drawing at the end, and maybe we'll have a chat a little afterwards.
Okay, sounds great.
All right, so there's Critter. Let's make something similar tomorrow. Come and join me. So we look at the comments here. Yeah, so there's the sharing session. You can sign up on either of our newsletters to get that information. And then I think there was a link somewhere. Well, you saw the QR code, so that'll work. That's that. I forgot this, Cindy. Sorry. Let me bring you back on stage. First of all, I'll just make mention before I bring Cindy back on that Spring Vendor Showcase is coming in April 5th. So that's a good month and a half away. And this is 6 of us vendors getting together, sharing some mini demos, tool showcase. It's going to be a lot of fun. We do it at charity auction as well. Lots of questions and answers. It's about a 4-hour session from noon to 4 Eastern time, 11 to 3 Central. So take a look at that. And Cindy, what else you got to add to that?
Oh, well, Vendor Showcase, always a great time. And we're cooking up some collaborations, some of us. So that's always fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there'll be collaborations and individual turnings. I think I'm doing an individual one. I didn't have any time to really work through a collab with anybody. So, but I think you and Lyle are doing one. Is that right?
Lyle and I are cooking up a plan, and it's going to be something interesting from Lyle that I've never seen before. And I'll be showing in my demo segments how I size a lid for a vessel and reverse it and some other techniques. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't figured out what I'm doing yet, but I'll have to get on the ball. Maybe
haven't figured out what you're doing yet? Ooh.
Not for a vendor showcase.
Right. Well, okay. So we deal with March stuff in March, February stuff in February, and April stuff in April, right?
Yep. Well, it gives me 5 days in April to figure it out, though.
Well.
All right. Good. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. That's my thank you screen. We won't put that up yet, but
so
Cindy, thanks for
register for Vendor Showcase. I'll drop the link in the chat.
Perfect. All right. Let me get back here. Okay, let's get back on the ball. let's take a look at what's overhead. So I've got this chunk of silver maple. It's got a little corner over. That was the old bowl shape that we salvaged. I've got drive center and live center in my lathe setup here. Let me just move this over a little bit. Oh, good, it is working. Something I didn't check. One of these, I don't know if people realize, but there's always something to prepare for a live stream, and sometimes I just don't really think it all through, because I go, oh, I'll just go turn something, but you got to sharpen tools, you got to do all kinds of things. I'm looking for, they're on the other trolley over there, safety glasses. So, and then all these things I forget to do, like clean my tool rest, dust things off, clean my specs. It's just not something to think about until I get out here. So it's not just like coming out and, oh, I'll just go and turn something and whittle away the time. I got a time frame to kind of hit. So I hope you guys enjoy it, but thanks for your patience as I kind of get things going here. Little eyeglass wipes, cleaning the safety glasses. I should actually clean my own glasses. Let me make sure that's drying okay. That's still streaky. And the worst problem is probably these guys. So that'll do for now. Too many things on my ear. Clean that off. All right. I've got centers marked here, and let me know, is that too bright? That looks a little bright to me, right? So it is maple, so it is a very blonde wood, but I'm just going to tune that up a little bit. Let's drop that down to 800. Maybe that's a bit better. All right, so I'm actually going to mount this crooked side to here and work on this back side. I'm going to put a little tenon on it so we can get this in a chuck. Let me get that in that hole. I marked this side as well. I'll just show quickly maybe. I made a bunch of pencil marks on that with the center finder, and that seemed to get me close enough with the 8 or so marks I had on there to get it somewhat centered. What I wanted to do is have this face somewhat true, and that looks pretty good to me. So we'll get a small tenon on this side, then we'll flip it around and waste all this way down till we get a little round. I gotta get my mouse back here. 1 second. John is here. Hey, Brian's here too. Thanks. Good to have you here, Brian. Good to see you again. Let's see. Is sizing lids and similar sizing for gilding? No, it's funny one. John's a local comedian. I love his input. Sometimes he makes funnies. Sizing isn't sizing. Nope. Bit too bright. Thank you. It depends on what sizes, and yeah, it's parametric. What is the actual size of your sizing? Okay, that's a good question, David. It is relatively small. I think it's about 5.5, thereabouts in diameter, 5 3/4. The thickest part of this thing is about 3.5, but this thinnest part is just over 2. And I'm just bringing over this other one. I'm not going to bring it over because I don't want to spoil the surprise for tomorrow. But I'm going to measure its diameter, and it's 5 1/4. So I want to get it about the same, 5 1/4. And this one's just over 1.5 inches. I want 1.5 inches sort of final. So we'll leave this a little over 1.5 inches thick. So probably 1 5/8 thereabouts is be our final thickness on this one. Once this side's trued up and this is trued up, we'll be somewhere in the middle here. So easy stuff to turn. This silver maple. It's this is from a tree that came down 2 houses down. So that was nice. The arborist or the tree surgeon guys picked it up in a little mini sort of front loader and brought it over to, I don't have a tool yet, hang on. There we go. Brought it over and dropped it in my driveway. So I didn't have to haul it anywhere. It just sat in my driveway. I've milled up one log. I got another 2 smaller logs out in the yard. So let's turn the lathe on finally. Oh, look at that, spins. Yay. And do I want to move this? I think I do. And what do we got for picture in picture? That one, maybe not that one, maybe this one. Let's see if that is in focus. I think it should be pretty close. I got to put that. Yeah, it looks relatively good to me from what I can see in my image. It's a bit bright though. Wrong way. There, maybe there. All right. Finally, maybe do a bit of turning. Check that, check that. Everything's kind of tight. I'm going to stand off to the side and use my left hand to turn. So tool back handle is in my left hand, front's in the front, and we'll just bite into that. Only doing about 1200 RPM. Just truing up that surface right there, and then we'll spin the gouge around. Might be easier to cut this way. The silver maple is soft, and so there might be an easier way to turn it around. And I got to think about what chuck I'm going to use. What chuck do I have available? They're all looks like 50 mil. So we shall get out our handy gadget that we invented, printed. And this is a radius sizing gauge. So this little hook fits over the 3/4 inch thing of there, 3/4 inch by 10 thread. Just rides on that. And I've got marks every 5 millimeters. 25 millimeter mark is the radius of 50 millimeter chuck jaws. So we've got that marked right there. So from this angle, it's into that slot and right on that line there. Can't see that with my hand in the way, but that's kind of how that works. So I gave one of those away last week. Today, we're not going to do that. We're going to give away a couple tickets. And that raffle will happen near the end of this session, probably in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. So let's get a move on and get this thing cut and sized, a bit more speed. I've got the cup drive center, the safety drive center on the front. That's why that's spun. It's just a cup with a point. I could put the ball turning attachment on it, but that is this guy here. This larger cup would thread onto the front of the drive center over here and give you a better grip than the small cup. But I haven't done that. All right, so we are getting close up to that tenon mark. I want to make this flat and square. I'm also going to true up this face before I go much further. So let's do that left-handed just so we get practice with the left hand. And maybe put that in overhead. And just move this over there a little bit. Left hand across the face. It's going to get bumpy out here as we're cutting air and wood. I don't really care if I fray that out. It's all going away anyway. Little bump there. What is that bump? A little bit, a little flat right there. So a little bit of flat left to go. So another cut. A little bit more speed. I don't want to take off too much. I'm looking for 5 1/4. Made a little divot in that one right there. Let's just take a quick estimate, guesstimate. So we're still good. We're about 5 1/2. Let's clean up that tenon with a little spindle gouge. Where is that guy? It's not little, it's a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch spindle gouge. There, we got some dust in the flute, but it's sharp. This will be just a slice in and a dovetail. These are dovetail jaws. These are the Axminster. Oh, those aren't actually. I am mistaken. Dovetail on the outside, but I think these are bird's beaks. Let's take a closer look. Yes. And I believe these are, I think these are the sea jaws. I'm not quite sure. But the cross section is, I'll open them up a little bit. They are indeed straight up and down. So the interior right there is straight up and down with this little hook on the top. The exterior is dovetailed on that side. So, got to pay attention to those details. So we're doing a straight tenon, and I'm doing a bit deeper than this. So I was thinking I was using the shallow jaws, but I am not. So I'm going to go back to the bowl gouge a bit, take a little bit more off. Make that slightly deeper. Didn't see that, I'm sorry, but I made that just slightly deeper. And then we'll take our, and let me zoom this in. Does that one work? Yeah, it does. And we'll use our spindle gouge and just cut straight on that line. And I'm cutting straight in rather than dovetailed. And I'll come across the face. And maybe just dig a bit in there just to get that little bird's beak, a little bite. What I do want here for later setup is to, I left that over there too, is to have this face square. And I realize this top surface is not really flat, so, but I want this sort of a square feel across this face to this face. That actually looks pretty darn good. So I'm happy with that. I'll square it up, flatten it even more when I get to removing that tenon. How am I going to do that? I'm not quite sure yet. I just got a little bump right there. All right, I think that'll work. I'm going to just measure the depth of these jaws just to be sure. And they are, I can't read that, 8 millimeters. we are fine here. We're only about 6, 7, so that's good. We're not going to bottom out. And let's go ahead and chuck it up. So I haven't looked at the chat for a while. Let me take a look. I'm going to do this left-handed. Brian says, definitely need one of those tendon markers. I'm over here drooling. Okay, well, we'll that's good feedback. I do want to know if I should produce these in mass and sell them. So I think I'm on that path. This one doesn't have my logo on it or my store name, so that's something I have to figure out. It does have a magnet in it, so it does just hang on my what do you call this thing? This is the tailstock. Yeah. So yeah, okay, I'll work on that and get that maybe up in the store here sometime. What am I doing? I was changing this out. That's what I was doing. All right, knockout bar. And I have to admit that I do miss my Powermatic knockout bar. The robust one works fine, but the Powermatic one had the little sort of inertia action to the handle, so that is kind of missed, but it works just fine. All right, let's stick that in there, the key, and I wonder if we go overhead back just a bit, get that on there. Oh, did I get almost too close? So I shall zoom in. You can see how close the jaws are together. I almost got a little too close, but it's biting and squeezing. We'll see how well it holds. I'm not going to put too much force on it. Not going anywhere right now. And we can always put the tailstock up for a little bit more support. Let's do that since we have it. And now let's lay out a little bit of where we want to go. So I want just over 1.5 inches right now, 1 5/8 inches. Got my little square on this side, so we're going to go to there. And good, that clears that hump, the little cutoff there, so that's nice. Some nice wood in there, colored wood. Unfortunately, for its purpose, I don't really care. So this is going to be decorated with other things. Where'd that gouge go? All right. So this is just a bunch of mass removal. And for that, I'm going to be pushing in this way a lot and just keep eating it away. It seems that this wood likes to cut cleaner this way in terms of a scrape, really, instead of a cross grain cut. So that's what we're going to work on doing. We've got air and wood, so we got to be aware of that. So there's a lot of bouncing going on. Learning to turn left-handed like this kind of is helpful. Wrong way. In that you can get out of the line of fire if need be. Don't get covered in shavings, don't need to be. If I stand here and do it, I'm just getting shavings all over me. So not that I don't mind, but it's just a bit nicer to stay clean sometimes. You may ask, why didn't I cut this blank down? It was sloped anyway, so we'll just waste it away. This is kind of the distinct feature of silver maple. It has this blue sort of gray colored streaks through it. So that's something to watch for. This stuff is particularly nice. I've got actually a piece of it that was quite curly. So you never know what you're going to get inside a tree. So that's kind of the exciting part sometimes. Just using the bottom wing to kind of sweep across and clean up. I'm standing in front now so I can see my sight line, how level it is, and kind of level it out a bit. Let's see across that face. And I'm looking for, I got to flatten this out first. Let's do that. This has got a bit of a hump right in here, a little low spot. So we'll get this nice and level, and then we can level this out. So level is a term that maybe it's not being used appropriately here. We're going to make it this two sides square and plumb to each other. Whether they're level, that's another question. So I'm going to use the right wing now. I'm going to sweep across here with a shear cut as I'm watching the horizon up here. And widen that out a little bit. You can kind of see the horizon out there. Clean that off. Clean that off. And let's see, what is the picture-in-picture do? Kind of shows. Yeah, the other one's over there. Okay, so handle's really low. It's on my pocket, pretty much, my front pocket. And using that wing to kind of shear scrape or shear cut, if you will. And I'm taking off just a little bit, skipping that low spot right there. And shifting to this side, looking at this horizon up here as to how level and flat that is. Just taking off little scratches. And that's getting pretty close. So this cut uses this back wing to ride against the bevel, and ride the bevel against the wood. And you just rotate it in until you start cutting. And leave it there with the bevel contact. That's a nice shear cut. That looks pretty good to me. So we got this flat, if you will. And now we can see, ride that on the flat there and see that we're not quite level here. So we got some work to cut out here. So I'll mark that. We'll say from here to the outside. So if I look there, that area we're going to kind of true up. And I'm going to do sort of not the similar thing, but I'm going to now shear scrape or whatever, just using the left wing, but rolled right over. Let's see how well that did. Flat there, and it's getting there. Needs a bit more in this area right here. And let's do some more. Why do I want it square and flat? Well, it's necessary for what I'm going to do tomorrow. And I thought tomorrow's going to be busy with a bunch of stuff. I'll prep this today, and people can watch this, the replay, to see what actually went on. I'm really bumpy down there. I'm trying to figure out why. I've got a real bump right in there. Just hold it steady across there. I'm going to look at that spot. What is causing that bump right in there? Nothing really. Maybe just the tear out there. So let's try something a bit different, and we'll do some shear scraping, or maybe some negative rake scraping. Yeah, let's do a skew. I've just got a small one here, so I've raised the tool rest so that I'm cutting close to center or on center, and get the rest close, but not so close that I'm riding on the bevel. I want to ride on the full tool, and we'll do some scraping across this because we got some good tear out there. And bear with me as I zoom this guy in. And I'm going to have to focus that again because I think I just broke focus. Yep, and there you go. You can see some good tear out right in there. It's hard to see in the blonde wood. Maybe I'll just that shows it up a bit better right in there. So let's go ahead and do some negative rake scraping. That's why I left it a bit fatter than my final dimension of 1.5 inches. So still probably close to inch and just under 5/8. What would that be? That's 10/8. Sorry, 10/16, 9/16. That's the one. I always have to do that math. All right, let's take a look. Cleaned up much better. Not as much tear out, not near as bumpy. And the overhead, we are pretty good. We're fat right at the outside, so we'll go ahead and trim up that little bit. Same method, a little negative rake scraping. Blend that in. And I've got that little bit in the way. So if I look at that, now I've got 0. I'm fine all the way across there. So I'm happy with that surface. So now what we can do is get rid of this guy, and I'm actually going to drill right through the thing. With this process, I found for what I needed that having a tenon on a piece this small was a bit prohibitive to my design intent. So we are going to use a screw chuck for these small ones, and it's not going to be. It'll work for our purposes. I'll explain tomorrow what the give and take is. All right, let me get on these questions. I have to put this over here because I just can't manage left hand. All right, let me scroll back up. Cindy, I think, highlighted some questions for me. Why true it up at all when you're going to turn most of that away? Well, I trued it up this side, and I turn it around. I'm going to true up this side to the proper dimension. So right now I am. I don't like that scale. It's way too many numbers for me. 16ths is 1 and 5/8. Probably 11/16. So I've got a good 3/16 here to take away, and then we'll get there. I'm going to use my spindle gouge and take this down. So, good question, Duncan. Thank you for asking that. Hey, Tony, good to have you here, and Paul, good to have you here. Thank you for joining. Wendell's here too. Good to see you, Wendell. She says, "Yes, produce them and sell them." Yes, that's what I'm going to do with this guy. So, Tony, I got some more feedback, and I'll get these going soon. Let's see. New comments. I would like one. Yes, produce them. Sign me up. All right. Good. It's good to have that feedback. I want one, maybe 2. Yes, it would be a good product. Okay, good. I like all that feedback. What with that type of jaw, is it only the beak contacting the wood? It doesn't seem particularly strong that way. No. As you crank down this, the beak is going to bite into the wood close to the tenon. So let me just kind of mimic here a little bit of what it's going to do. So it's going to bite into that little, the beak is going to bite into that little hollow down there. If I can just put my thing up. So I made a little bit of an indent there, but the whole flat part is going to bite into the wood. So the beak is going to crush. If you don't make that little hollow, that's fine. It's going to crush that wood and then bite in and have a sort of a claw grip on that tenon from coming out. So that's the idea. But yeah, it'll crush the fibers. That beak, they're not very long. They're like maybe a millimeter, if that. And so I think that's the intent of the bird's beak jaws. They call them other things. Any chuck, you want flat face on the jaws against the flat of the workpiece. That's really what keeps it in place. That gives you the torque or the anti-torque or pulling the piece out of the chuck. Yeah, you're right, John. Good stuff. Gordon's here. Thank you. He just got in. Good to have you here. I am good to have you here. There's Paul. I found the seed jaws. I would put a groove at the base of the tenon and used to pull the jaws in tight. Yeah, kind of like I did here, Paul. So yeah, a little groove down there with a spindle gouge or something like that would help. Not always necessary. If it's really hard wood, then probably necessary. But the soft maple, it's gonna crush those fibers down there. Sorry, groove. Yeah. The event tomorrow is live, and each ticket holder will get a replay access for 6 months. So I'll be recording it, and I will be live tomorrow. That's the time to come and join, ask questions, watch things happen live. I am known to have some oopsies, and I fix them on the lathe. So those kind of things, if you're that way in your shop, come and join me. You can see how I fix things, how I react to things and stuff like that. But this is going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. I should have brought Critter out here, but I didn't think about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we will make something along the lines you see in the photo or in the sign up. So there's the sign up. Thank you, Cindy. Ticket to Rings Segmented Sculptures, February 22nd. Good stuff. Steve, glad you're here too. Thank you for joining, my friend. And Brian, thanks for the explanation. Very clear now. Yep. Good. Excellent. Caught up. And Cindy, thanks for the help for a star in some of those. All right, we're going to take this little spigot away. I don't need it anymore. I'm going to get my Jacobs chuck out and drill through this guy. So we'll get that done, and then we'll start the drawing here. We've got a few minutes left. Live anyway, or at least scheduled. I can always stay longer. I'm going to ease up the tension on my tailstock, so I'm releasing the tailstock tension so that this doesn't bind up when it releases. In fact, I may just back it right off so it falls out of the way. Taking lighter cuts, I don't want to tear fibers too much. I'm actually going to put a little divot in there. This is going to be where the drill bit's going to sit. So let's go ahead and back this out. Turn this off. And I do want to kind of measure. Maybe I'll get my Sharpie out and actually mark it. I have a tenon in there, so I got a drill bit. So I need to go at least that deep. That's probably more than enough, but we'll mark that anyway. Just so I know. As I did this the other day, and I said, oh, shoot, I didn't actually go far enough. Take the live center out. Jacob's chuck in. I'm going to change bits here. I am got a Forstner in there right now, but what size is this? This is 1/16 smaller than 3/8. So what does that make that? I make it smaller. So this is sized for the woodworm screw or a screw chuck, and screw chucks are, I think the one way is a bit fatter, but typically 3/8, and so I go smaller than that because this is very soft wood, and I want some grip on my woodworm screw. If you got hardwood, you might just go with 3/8 inch. So we'll turn the speed down for drilling speed. We'll toggle that back on just for giggles. And my mark, there's my mark right there. So good. See, I'm getting some bounce. This is where I may not have, well, I'll try not to explain too much because I don't give too much away of what's happening tomorrow. So if you have, I've done this too on bowl blanks where I've, years ago, I haven't done it in a good 10 years. I drilled the woodworm screw hole on one side, and I ended up turning the bowl the other way, so I had a hole in my base, which I don't know how that happened, but that's the way that happened. So I am looking for my chuck key, which I think I put back here. So this is pretty much prep for tomorrow, but we're going to take that tenon off. So I think this guy works in there. Ugh. This is the screw chuck for the Axminster product, and I think that just fits right. This is one of the other reasons they did this job with the bird's beak, because that captures that. There's a little ridge on this guy here, and that bird's beak captures that. So that's the other reason I think they did a bird's beak on these number C jaws, which are standard, that come with a chuck kit if you buy a chuck kit. So that, now I need to space it. That's too much. And will this one work? This is the one I used before. Oh, I might have done this for this woodworm screw. I might have the wrong size. Might have to change chucks, because I think, yeah, that's the wrong size. So this is thinner than what I'm used to. I think not used to, but what I used. And I used the one-way screw chuck. So that's what we're going to have to do here. But that was a good to show that way that bird's beak works there, and how it captures in the what do you call it, the Axminster screw chuck. So I've got this little Nova chuck The reason I use the Novichok, it's got the smallest jaws in terms of diameter, because I wanted as much access as I could to the backside as the front side. So here's a spacer block. This one is sized for a 3/8 drill. The actual screw chuck is quite a bit thicker than that. And so, I should have done that. I didn't do that. I normally would bevel that a little bit, because as I screw this on, I'm going to get little fibers. You can see them there. I'll show them here in a second. Just as this blows out like that on that end, this backside's blowing out a little bit with the screw threads forcing fibers out, and it doesn't seat all the way back here. I'll show you here in a second. That's as tight as I can get it there, but if I pull this off, so something to be aware of, as I pull this off, you will see I got this little furl of fibers sticking up, and that is interfering with this face here. So I'm going to just kind of carve that out a little bit with the skew chuck. But when it was on the lathe, before I took it off, I should have beveled that hole, put a little chamfer on that hole. And I should have evened out that face a bit more. In fact, I may have to do that. I wonder if that'll fit. That should fit in that chuck. So I'm going to back off. Before I do that, let's do this drawing here. I have, let's see. We're going to give away a couple of tickets to tomorrow's demo. So let me see if I got this set up right. Yeah, okay. And what does that say? Yep, that one works. So enter FEBPRD with a pound sign in front of it, and for your chance to win a ticket to tomorrow's demo. So let's see if we're doing that, and we'll do this drawing, and then I will finish up fixing this. I'm going to actually chuck this up and then clean off this face. I've got a little hump right there in the middle that I should have cleaned up. And so we'll do that. So enter that. That's good. David, you got it right. Everybody else, that's kind of what you want to see. Doesn't have to be capitalized, but it has to be those 3 letters or 6 letters with the pound sign in front. FEBPRD. And we'll get hopefully some winners happening. So as people are filling that out, I am going to take this screw chuck out. By the way, this Novichok, it's a little Novichok, which goes backwards, holds the one-way woodworm screw quite well. This is also a bird's beak, not quite as drastic as the Axminster, but same idea. So it's a good match with these two. And as you can see, I've got more chuck capacity or smaller chuck capacity here. Let's just put that there for now. Put this and this over there. So tomorrow's demo it starts at noon Central. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. Let me just, while I'm looking at it, auto, let's turn that off and toggle. So there is the QR code to buy a ticket. There is the information on what it is. So let me just hide the current comment. Let me see if everybody's getting it right. So this works fine too, whether it's large or small letters, that will be just fine as well. Good job, Jim. Yeah, James has got it. So I'm just looking if anybody's got any problems with the code. Looks like it's all fine. Good. We've got 45 entries. We've got 92 people on, so a lot more people need to enter. If you're on StreamYard or YouTube or Facebook, everybody can enter. Enter it in the comments down there, and it'll work just fine. So I'm going to clean up this this face here. Let me just put that in, kind of see what I'm doing. I might as well just put the whole, not that one, that one. Why that one? That one. There's a little too many buttons here in front of me. Sorry, folks. That little breakout. So this is what I should have done on the other side. Just bevel that inside a little bit so it doesn't break out. This might be the time to size this thing diameter-wise, but it should be pretty close to what I want. Yeah, it's close enough. That'll work for me. It's still humped in the middle, so I need to fix that. It's looking pretty good. A little bit more right at the entry. Ruining all that lovely negative rake scraping, but yeah, that's flat enough for what I'm looking for. That's good. I'll put a bit more of a bevel in there. That little bevel is going to help prevent that blowout that we had on the woodworm screw. All right, I think we're just about there. Let's see, we've got 47 entries. So let's go ahead and do the sign up. Let me get myself back there. Turn that off and turn that on. There we go. And let's take a look at who's going to win. So we're ready to draw. Everybody got last call. Good stuff. Roderick's in. Ron's in. And Nikki, Tony, the answer is no. Sorry, we're not going to AW. Won't be there. It's just a little far for us to get to. Always at SWAT, though. So, all right, here we go. First drawing. Everybody cross your fingers. And who do we have winning? Ticket. And if you already have a ticket, we'll work something out. We can either refund you or get you a ticket for the next one. John Hengel, thanks very much. Congratulations to you. You're a winner today, so good stuff. Good stuff. One more giveaway here for another ticket for tomorrow. And if you can't make it live tomorrow, you'll get full access to the replay. I'll have notes on all the things I'm doing and using. And so you'll have some resources there. The resources may come, maybe not tomorrow, but I may get them as soon as I get them done. So just about done, but not quite. So one more drawing. Let's go again. Last drawing here. There we go. Off we go. Off we go. Oh, did we get Rod? Sorry, I just saw that now. I should have waited for Rod to get his. Ed Molesky. Ed, congratulations. Both of those guys are on StreamYard. I got your emails. I can get you your tickets. They're going to be a virtual ticket. What you'll have, you'll have a way to download a PDF document. In that PDF document is the Zoom meeting details and a click here to join button. So that'll work. If you have any questions about that, Ed, or I forget who the other one was now, we'll answer those. So good stuff. So that's the drawing for the day. Thanks very much for that. And let me switch back over here. There we go. Stop sharing that. I'll take that off. Congratulations, John and Ed. Thank you. I guess that's Shelley doing that. So good stuff. Maybe that's Cindy because she's on my account. So well done. Those tickets I'll get them out here as soon as I finish up here in the shop, and we will go and we'll join tomorrow. So we are finished cleaning off this face. I'm just going to spin it around while I'm here and take this tenon off and have this all ready for the demo tomorrow. So let's put that woodworm screw back in. And I'm going to go for an end view shot here, just to kind of show you that these sections here, these grooves, and this edge here, and this edge here, fit quite nicely in a Novichok. So in case anybody didn't know. So as I can spin it now, but as I close it more and more, those knobs or nodules or cutouts catch in the jaw guides, and that gets done. And it's forward and backward. It's clamped tight, and that is that. So I've got a spacer block because I don't need all that space, all that much holding it. So we've got about 3/8 sticking out. That should be plenty to hold this little block on what I want it to do. So if we notice now, you can't see, but wrong way. I don't know if that will show. Yeah, you can see that gap there. So we tighten this down. That should go away. And it should seat nice and solidly all the way around. That feels pretty good. So if I unlock that and just hold this here, and I see it all the way around. So if you have a wobble on your screw chuck, check you don't have little fibers back there holding you away from the screw chuck, and clean them up if you can. I got shavings in my glasses. All right, last thing to do is to get rid of that tenon, square things up, and get it the right diameter and thickness, actually. So I'm get a different gouge, sharper gouge. Yeah, we're out of round, and that's the problem with screw chucks. As I go in, the drill bit wanders a bit. Not a big deal for this project, but if you're doing something else, it's going to be a big deal. We have to retrue it up. I've got room diameter-wise and thickness-wise to retrue it, so I'm not too concerned. But something to be aware of. I just want to see how close I am. Pretty good. Okay, now let's size this up. Oh, if I can get my ruler right. I do want I do want my ruler right at the edge, so I'm holding the straight edge back here to kind of hold that there. And I want 1.5 inches right there, and we'll just verify that 1.5 inches. And then should I do the diameter first? No, I'll do the diameter after. We'll get the thickness going, and let's mark that. You can leave that on. So just cutting to almost that line. We'll do that last line with some negative rake scraping. I think I'm high in the middle again, as always. Yep. A little bit all over the place. High at the middle and a little bit at the rim. All right. All right, time to do some negative rake scraping, because I find that I'm just a little bit happier with that. Got some good tear out here as well, so negative rake scraping is going to take care of that. Again, this project doesn't need a super fine finish, believe it or not, because we're going to do some carving on it and stuff. So I could use a bigger scraper, but this is what I had on my shop cart over there, so that's what I'm using. It's sharp and stuff, so ouch, just about cut myself there. High in the middle again, and we'll finish this up. Probably not seeing a whole lot with that angle there. That's not too bad. Let's try and even it out a little bit more from that cut line and over to that. Let's see, that looks pretty good now. Good enough for what I need. And let's check square again. Nice. Let's put that out all the way. That looks pretty good to me. This still looks square. Okay, so let's now work on, before I go away from that, put that little bevel on there. And let's see, we are 5.5. And I need to be, well, 5.25. So 1/8 of an inch off will give me a 1/4 inch across the diameter. So let's do that. Let's say that is going to be about there. Notice how it's much wider here than it is over here. So I'm a little out of round, so I'm going to be cautious with that line. And bowl gouge. Just want to true it up a little bit. Watching the horizon as I do that. Check that line. Still there. Feels relatively smooth across the surface here now. Taking a bit of a bigger bite. Come back the other way so I don't tear this out too much. And then we'll go to the shear cutting. Just move my handle out of the way. And I think we're just about there. So this is, hold it over the diameter line. 5. Why is that scale backwards? So I got it on the wrong side. I don't like this the scale sometimes. Just over 5 1/4. So I'm okay with that. That'll work just fine. So that is all set for tomorrow. We've got that cleaned out. We got it square and plumb, and we got it on the screw chuck. So I could have used the corners a bit, but I'll do that tomorrow. One slightly bigger than the other, but not by much. Same size, same diameter, and same thickness. So good. That's all set. So that's it. I am all, oops, wrong one. All done for my prep here in the shop. Did I not take that? Oh, thank you for taking that off if you did, Cindy. So let's see. Thanks everybody for joining. I appreciate it. If you stuck around till now, that's very nice of you. 77 people still here. That's kind of crazy. Good stuff. Tomorrow, check it out. We'll have a lot of fun, and look forward. I gotta start the heaters in the shop early in the morning to get it warmed up. It's now nice and comfortable out here, so I'm quite happy. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week at the sharing session. We'll see you tomorrow at my IRD, PRD. And if not, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Everybody take a good afternoon. Get out in the shop, turn something, have some fun, be creative, and be kind to one another. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.